today is attitude is everything. I believe this happens not only in my family, but in every family. Doesn't it? Dad always tells me, attitude is everything. Don't try to find the truth. And following this truth will allow you to live a great life. Really? How? I ask the same questions all the time, and he keeps reminding us. When you have a bad attitude, it negatively affects your actions. On the other hand, when you have a positive attitude, you are much more likely to take action and get things done. Day after day, year after year, and I finally understand this. It brings me success in the exams and competitions. And now I know how to arrange my time, how to work in a team, how to face the challenge at hand, and realizing that if you keep focusing on what you don't have, you will forget about what you do have. Mom always tells me, a good attitude is the window to the world. And if you want to achieve your goals, don't just focus on the goal. You must also focus on the process of getting to the goal. Then it will turn your problems into opportunities. And for me, a good attitude is more like a true friend. It isn't the one who makes your problem disappear. It's the one who helps you face your problems and makes your life much more enjoyable. This is something that money cannot buy, even with an Amex Black Card. So I believe, change your attitude and change your life. And think big but start small. Today, I'm so glad to stand here again, proudly sharing my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
37. Okay, number 2, please.
Hello everyone, let me tell you a story. The King Midas. King Midas loves gold. Every day he counts his gold coins happily. One day his daughter comes to him and says, "Father, there is a strange man in the garden. He looks tired and lost." So the king goes out to the garden with his guards. "You there," the king says to the strange man. "What are you doing in my garden?" The strange man is scared. He says to the king, "My king, I am lost, tired and hungry. Will you let me rest here for help, please?" The king smiles. "No, but you can stay in the castle, sleep in a bed, and eat all the food you can eat." The strange man is grateful. "You are a good king," he says. "I am a powerful fairy, and I can grant you any wish." The king is excited. He says, "I wish I could turn anything into gold by touching it." The fairy looks worried, but grants the king the wish anyway. Then he disappears. The king sees a stick. He touches it, and it turns to gold. The king is surprised. He walks around the garden and touches everything. The flowers, the butterflies, and the trees, they all turn to gold. The king is happy. Next, he goes inside the castle and touches everything. "Phew, that's hot work," says the king. He is tired. He wants to take a nap. He lies on his big soft bed, but the bed turns to gold. "I can't sleep here," he says. "This bed is too hard." The king walks away sadly. Now he is hungry. He asks his cooks to make him a huge meal. They prepare the king's favorite foods. However, the king couldn't eat. When the food touches his mouth, it turns to gold. The king cries sadly. His daughter hears him and runs to him. Before he can stop her, she grabs his hand. She too turns to gold. Now, the king knows that there are things more valuable than gold. The fairy appears to undo the wish. The king gives away all his gold. Instead of counting his coins, he counts all the special people in his life. Thank you, everyone.
4 seconds. Two minutes and 54, right? Okay. Number 3, please.
Good afternoon, teachers. My number is number 3. Today my topic is my favorite animal, penguins. Penguins are flying seabirds that live almost exclusively below the equator. Some island stars can be found in warmer climates. The most important emperor, king, and gentle penguins reside in and around icy Antarctica. And my favorite penguin is Emperor's baby penguin because they're a little fat and their feathers are gray. It is so cute. A thick layer of blubber and tightly packed, oily feathers are ideal for colder temperatures. While penguins can fly, their stiff flippers, swivel feet, and stick shapes make them excellent swimmers. In fact, they spend most of their time in the ocean and hunting for krill, squid, and crabs underwater. They can swim about 15 miles an hour, and when they want to go faster, they often leap out of the water as they swim. On land, penguins have an upright stance and tend to waddle, hop, or run with their bodies and go forward. Polar penguins can travel long distance quickly by tobogganing, or sliding across the ice with their bellies and pushing forward with their feet. If especially cold, they huddle together in large colonies to protect them from cold to be warm. These colonies consist of thousands and even miles of penguins. But right now, among the biggest threats to penguins' population is climate change. Warming in the polar regions has melted sea ice, which penguins depend to find food and build nests. We must be kind to our environment and reduce pollution. This is the only way to protect my favorite animal, penguins. Thank you for listening. Wish you have a nice day.
2 minutes 27 seconds.
Okay, number 4, please.
Good afternoon, teachers. My name is Cleo. Today, my topic is how to be popular. Most people would like to be popular with others, but not everyone can achieve this goal. What is the secret to popularity? In fact, it is very simple. The first step is to improve our appearance. We should always make sure that we stay in good shape and dress well. When we are healthy and well-groomed, we will not only look better, but also feel better. In addition, we should smile and appear friendly. After all, our facial expression is an important part of our appearance. If we can do this, people will be attracted
to our good looks and impressed by our confidence. Another important step is developing more consideration for others. We should always put others first and place their interests before our own. It's also important to be good listener. In this way, people will feel comfortable enough to confide in us. However, no matter what we do, we must not gossip. Above all, we must remember to be ourselves, not foreigners. Only by being sincere and respectful of others. If we can do all of above, I'm sure popularity will come our way. Thank you for your listening.
2 minutes 23 seconds.
Okay, number 5.
Hello everyone, my name is Anna. I'm number 5. Today, I will share one of the best-known speeches in United States history. It was delivered by Lincoln during an American Civil War. We must know how to cherish democracy in Taiwan. The Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. 407 years ago, so began the message of the war-weary President Abraham Lincoln. Message written on the back of the envelope on the train on the way to dedicate a battlefield where men from the north and south had died in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. 407 years ago, our forefather brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, we engage into a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives and that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we shall do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hold this ground. But the brave ones living in death, who struggled here, have consecrated far above our power to add and our detract. The world will little know, or will remember what we say here, but he can never forget what they did here. It is for us to live in, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here at this front so nobly advanced. It is better for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honor death we take increased devotion to the cause that we may give the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these steps shall not have gone in vain, and that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from years. That's all. Thank you for listening.
2 minutes 55 seconds.
Okay, number 6.
Hi and bonjour. My name is Olivia Liao, and my speech topic is climate change. Have you ever heard of the ludicrously high 51 degrees Celsius in Europe? Or maybe the record-setting low temperature in Africa? Either way, these temperatures are really extreme for both continents. So why did these unfathomable weather oscillations even occur in the first place? Duh, because of climate change. To be specific here though, the type of climate change I'm talking about is human-based climate change, not the more environment-friendly weather fluctuations that happen because of, well, all sorts of factors. And the pilots who conduct this so-called plane of cataclysm? Who else than our best friends? Carbon dioxide and methane. Carbon dioxide, or CO2 for short, is a molecule which stays in the atmosphere for a relatively long period of time, as opposed to methane, which is short-lived but does a lot of damage. Methane is a really potent greenhouse gas which destroys the ozone layer by splitting apart the 3 oxygen atoms and binding to one of them. Although it dissipates in around 8 years, it causes dynamic effects on both the atmosphere and ecosystems. But that doesn't necessarily mean that CO2 can't do better or worse depending on how you view the subject than its partner. CO2 accounts for around 76% of all the greenhouse gases produced each year, so its abundance makes up for its effectiveness. Now then, has anybody fallen into the trap of doom yet? Well, don't worry. Research has shown that we humans as a whole have at least succeeded in maneuvering ever so slightly out of the greenhouse gas emissions lane. But don't celebrate yet. There are still a lot of short-term profits that coal, natural gas, and fossil fuel corporations offer to the government that make officials not able to see the long-term deficiency that it causes the environment. And don't even get me started on the amount of money that meat and dairy companies spend each year to lobby. Also, the governments around the world all know that the most effective way to slow down climate change is to cut down on methane. But they're not willing to pay for the little amount of money that it costs to save a lot of the world's population. So, like my climate idol Greta Thunberg once said, we can't change the world by playing by the rules because the rules have to be changed. Everything needs to change and it has to start now. Thank you all for being here. First,
Next one, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emily. Today I'll be talking about my favorite food and drink. Number 1, cotton candy. Cotton candy has so many colors. My favorite is yellow, red, and blue. This 3 color is my favorite. And sometimes I think sweets can make us happy. So when I was sad, I will go out and I will buy 1 cotton candy and I will walk slowly and go back. Because I want to eat really, really slow that I can be more happier. So sometimes when I was really sad or I was angry, so I was actually eating really, really slow. Number 2, sour candy. Sour candy has so many logos, like Sour Patch Kid and Sour Rainbow Candy. I think American people really like to eat sour candy. Why? How do I know? Because last time I go to the American shop. Then I saw a lot of American people are eating the Sour Patch Kid. And I was thinking about, maybe they really like to eat. Then I saw one Taiwan people go inside. He said, "Give me 10 Sour Patch Kids." And I was like so shocked. Are he going to go to the store or what? How did he buy so many? But my favorite is Sour Patch Kids. So my cousin or my family, they will actually buy me so many Sour Patch Kids. Number 3, I think many people like to drink this. Lemonade. Because lemonade is sour. Hot can make us really hot. So our parents said that sometimes we have to eat hot things so we can make us healthier. So I think sour thing maybe could
make us healthier? I don't know. But my favorite is lemonade. And my dad likes to drink lemonade too. But don't drink too fast. Because when you drink too fast, your throat is gonna be really, really hurt. And my dad had bought me a big lemonade. He even bought me a small one too. And sometimes I drink 10 lemonade. My dad and my sister say, hey, don't drink too much. It's not healthy for you. Then my dad said that maybe it's too small. You cannot drink that. So my dad bought me a big one. And remember, I had to go out one day. And my dad and my sister was waiting outside for me. He said, my dad like watching the watch. He said, what time are you going out? And I just picked the bag. And I was like, oh, wait. And I was picking the lemonade. Then when I go out to play the sweet, and I drink a lot because I was really, really hot. So actually, I drink really fast. But please don't drink so fast. Later, I go to home. Then I always like drinking. Then my throat is really, really hurt. Then number 4, I think very people have loved this thing. McDonald's. McDonald's is really, really good. And my favorite is chicken nugget and french fries and hamburger. This 3 is my favorite. How do I know? All the kids really like to eat McDonald's. Because every time when I go to the McDonald's, I saw a lot of people was eating McDonald's combos. And I really like to eat them chicken nugget. It's crunchy and it's really, really soft. Thank you for everybody.
Number
Three,
8.
3 minute and 32. 3 minute and 32
Hello,
seconds.
fellow
I
judges.
think over time.
My name is Nathaniel. My name is Nathaniel, and today I am going to be lecturing about the biology of prehistoric creatures. First of all, what is a prehistoric creature? A prehistoric creature is an animal that has gone extinct, meaning it won't come back again. Prehistoric fungi, bacteria, plants, these are all prehistoric. Even an animal that went extinct 2 years ago counts as a prehistoric creature because it won't come back again. Now that we're here, let's move on to the topic. What caused the dinosaurs to go extinct? Nobody knows for sure what killed the dinosaurs, but the most widely accepted theory is that an asteroid came from outer space and slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula, causing worldwide volcanic activity and climate change. Other popular theories include neutrinos causing cancers in the dinosaurs' anatomies, bugs eating all the plants, rendering the ecosystem unbalanced to even too high temperatures, boiling the fertile eggs. When somebody says the words prehistoric creature, the first thought are probably the dinosaurs, like Allosaurus, Tyrannosaurus rex, Tujangosaurus, etc., etc., etc. But there's so many, many other genuses and species of prehistoric creatures out there, like Velociraptor, Myocetus, Mesohippus, Gomphotherium, to even ancient cheap budget King Kong Gigantopithecus, to name a few. Life on Earth started with the Precambrian period, and before that was the Big Bang. Wow, what is the Big Bang? The Big Bang is a theory of the origins of our universe, and it says that when the universe was first created, it was really dense and boiling hot, and over time it kept updating itself like a video game in order to create galaxies, stars, planets, and moons. Then came the Cambrian and Silurian periods, which has had ordinary invertebrates and bacteria life forms. But then after the Devonian period, the Carboniferous period, and the Permian periods, there started to become more amphibians, fish, and a little bit of mammals and reptiles. But then at the end of the Permian period, a mass extinction occurred, killing 95% of life on Earth. For 10 million years, there was nothing on Earth's surface, but just nothing. Then came the Triassic and Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, the time of the dinosaurs. But, of course, all good things come to an end. The asteroid came and went, like I said earlier, killing all the dinosaurs. But the mammals were still alive because the asteroid only killed every animal larger than a Labrador retriever. The mammals were really small at that time, so evolution happened, and then they became big and the top predators of Earth. Now, each genus and species of prehistoric creature out there lived for hundreds of millions of years at a certain time period, like the others I just talked about. Thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope you all have a great afternoon.
Number 9.
Good afternoon. Today, my speech will be about if you were a homeschool student, what would happen in your daily life. It basically just means what life is about being a homeschool. So, the first part is going to be basics. There are 3 important things you need to know about homeschooling basics. 1. Avoid comparing your family to others. Do not think that what everyone says will be the truth. Well, if you actually think that that is a real thing that is probably going to happen to you in the future life, then you're wrong. You're really digging yourself into a deeper hole. It'll be hard to fill it back up again and start all over. 2. Don't try to make home like school. For some reason, some people think that when you're homeschooled, you will technically think you're still like at school learning the school things, but what you learn are what you like. It's kind of weird, you know, because things change, and you're homeschooled, not schooled. 3. Don't try to keep up with everyone else. It's kind of the same as avoid comparing your family to others, but it's quite different. So don't try to keep up with everyone else or someone else. Means that you learn slow, talk slow, do things slow. I do not mean you're like a sloth or a turtle that does everything slowly. What I meant by it was don't. Oh my god.
It's okay. Take your time.
What I meant by it was, oh my god.
Next one. Number 10, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stella. I'm glad to be here again, and here is a new speech for you to listen. Today, I'm talking about COVID-19. COVID-19 has seriously impacted our lives since 2019, including how we work, eat, study, and play. We have to wear masks and maintain social distance. Many people work from home and students attend online classes. It's so troublesome and inconvenient. What's worse, many restaurants and stores are closed and their employees lose their jobs. For me, I really don't like the COVID-19. When I study at home, I cannot play outside, and I cannot meet my friends. Our daily routine is severely affected. On the other hand, people create new lifestyles. Restaurants and customers get used to order their meals by cell phone or iPad, and delivery platforms become so popular that almost everyone knows how to use Uber or Foodpanda to order their meals. Looking back 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 to 2023, 3 years passed. COVID-19 has undergone multiple mutations, and we have also gotten more than 2 vaccinations since it is less likely to be ill or die if infected. People in many countries are slowly returning back to a normal UA life. Students in Taiwan no longer need to have classes at home. We can go back to study, and we also can be safe when traveling abroad. It won't take long to take up our mask completely and get back to our lives again. This severe epidemic has caused nearly 7 million worldwide and nearly 20,000 deaths in Taiwan. We have learned a lesson from COVID-19. We need to lead much healthier lifestyles and cherish our family. With joy and health be with you and all our friends and family in the world. Thank you for listening. story. The King Midas. King Midas loves gold. Every day he counts his gold coins happily. One day his daughter comes to him and says, "Father, there is a strange man in the garden. He looks tired and lost." So the king goes out to the garden with his guards. "You there," the king says to the strange man. "What are you doing in my garden?" The strange man is scared. He says to the king, "My king, I am lost, tired, and hungry. Will you let me rest here for a help, please?" The king smiles. "No, but you can stay in the castle, sleep in a bed, and eat all the food you can eat." The strange man is grateful. "You are a good king," he says. "I am a powerful fairy, and I can grant you any wish." The king is excited. He says, "I wish I could turn anything into gold by touching it." The fairy looks worried, but grants the king a wish anyway. Then he disappears. The king sees a stick. He touches it, and it turns into gold. The king is surprised. He looks around the garden and touches everything. The flowers, the butterflies, and the trees. They all turn to gold. The king is happy. Next, the king goes inside the castle and touches everything. "Phew, that's hard work," says the king. The king is tired. He wants to take a nap. He lies on his big soft bed, but the bed turns to gold. "I can't sleep here," he says. "This bed is too hard." Now, the king walks away sadly. Now, the king is hungry. He asks his cooks to make him a huge meal. They prepare the king's favorite foods. However, the king couldn't eat. When the food touches his mouth, it turns to gold. The king cries sadly. His daughter hears him and runs to him. Before he can stop her, she grabs his hand. She too turns to gold. Now the king knows that there are nothing more valuable than gold. The fairy appears to undo the wish. The king gives away all his gold. Instead of counting his coins, he counts all the special people in his life.
Hello everyone. Today I will show you one of the best known speeches in United States history. It was delivered by Lincoln during the American Civil War. We must know how to cherish democracy in Taiwan. The Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. 407 years ago, so began a message of the war-weary President Abraham Lincoln. Message on the back of the envelope on the chain on the way to dedicate a battlefield where men from the north and south had died in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. 407 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived their liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now, we engage into a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can well endure. We are men on a great battlefield that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as the final resting place for those who here gave their lives and that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we shall do it. But in the larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hold with law. But the brave will living in death who struggle here have consecrated one of our full power to add and our detract. The word will little known, our long remembered.
remember what we say here, but he can never forget what they did here. It is for us to living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work, which they who thought here have this blood, so nobody had that. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that for these honored dead, we take increased devotion to the cause that which they gave a last full measure of devotion, that we here had to resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
My name is Cleo. Today my topic is how to be popular. Most people would like to be popular with others, but not everyone can achieve this goal. What is the secret to popularity? In fact, it is very simple. The first step is improve our appearance. We should always make sure that we stay in good shape and dress well. When we are healthy and well-groomed, we will not only look better but also feel better. In addition, we should smile and appear friendly. After all, our facial expression is an important part of our appearance. If we can do this, people will be attracted to our good looks and impressed by our confidence. Another important step is developing more consideration for others. We should always put others first and place their interests before our own. However, no matter what we do, it's also important to be good listener. In this way, people will feel comfortable enough to confide in us. However, no matter what we do, we must not gossip. Above all, we must remember to be ourselves, not phonies. Only by being sincere and respectful of others, if we can do all of above, I'm sure popularity will come our way. Thank you for listening.
The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar grew one nest leaves, and
He built a small house called cocoon around himself. What happened then?
he got a small
Then, how many weeks? 2 weeks. More than 2 weeks, remember? And then?
He was a beautiful butterfly.
Butterflies, right? That's the end of the story. Okay, everyone sit down, please.